As always, we will do 2 meditations with a little break in between. In a comfortable position with your spine straight. Let your mind and body be comfortable, effortless. Take a few deep breaths. Let your body relax. Let your breath stabilize in a shallow, slow breath, deepening the relaxation. Every breath takes you deep into calm. There's no tension in your face. If there is some, it just melts down slowly. Your neck relaxes. Your shoulders. Arms. Your torso. Your hips. Your legs. Your whole body is letting go of effort. The breath is smooth. And your mind starting to calm. There's still some bubbling activity in your mind, but it's not something you are paying attention to. Just like the sounds outside. Just disengage and let it be. with a relaxed body, relaxed mind, and smooth breath. Bring in your mind the image of someone you love, maybe a family member or a friend. And with a gentle attitude, repeat to yourself, may you, fill with a name, be in peace. Remember the presence of that person, their face, their smile. Imagine them going through their daily life. And you wish for them, repeating, may you, then the name of the person, be in peace. Wish this person peace from the bottom of your heart. Imagine that person. Where does it go during the day? Eating, talking, working, in any activity. Just imagine them glowing with a deep peace. Gently repeating every few seconds, may you, name of the person, be in peace. Imagine them waking up in the morning in peace, going to bed at night in peace. You may change the person now. Likewise, wish them peace by repeating, may you, name, be in peace. And actually imagine them in their daily places and activities in peace. If you lose concentration, repeat the phrase, may you name, be at peace. Your face is relaxed. Your breath is slow and gentle. Take another person you love, a dear friend maybe, and wish them peace. Gently. And imagining this person feeling authentic peace through their days. If the imagination doesn't come, just repeat the sentence with a slow and gentle breath. And as you think of that person, their face or their presence may appear to you in whatever way. Just wish them from the bottom of your heart a deep sense of peace in their life. Notice how the more you can feel them in peace, the more peace you feel. The more peace you send them, the more peace grows in you. Now switch to a person that you may not know very much. Someone from your daily life. They are kind of neutral. You have nothing really positive or negative about them. can do the same with that person. Wish them peace. If you don't know their name, then just say, may you be in peace while you think of them. The more peaceful they are, the most peaceful you are. Doesn't matter if it's a relevant person. Just send them your wish of peace. You can change people or stay with the same one all the time. Important thing is you authentically wish peace to these people. Keep imagining people from your life peaceful. Slowly and gently repeating, may you be in peace. The more peace you give, the more peace you have. Now just rest in the feeling of peace you have generated. Let your mind rest. Let's just rest a few moments. With your eyes closed, in a comfortable position, with your spine straight, take a few deep breaths to relax your body to ensure there is an effortless calm growing in your body and your mind. Make sure that the breaths are rich. You notice a subtle massage in all your body. After a few deep breaths, just let it go spontaneously, natural. Don't control your breath. Just pay attention to the sensations in your body. Notice every inch of your skin, any sensation, any feeling. Notice if there is any part where there is more tension or specific sensation that calls your attention. Just observe them. Notice where they are, their intensity. Do they move or change in any way? Notice their shape. If there is a sensation of tension or pressure, then is there any direction to that pull, to that pressure? Does it change? Does it move? Let the sensations in your body be as they are. Just notice them. Keep track of every sensation in your body, every feeling. With a gentle breath, start repeating to yourself, I am peace. Very sparingly. You can take a lot of time in between the repetitions, very effortlessly. I am peace. At the same time, keep track of all the sensations in your body. Let the phrase, I am peace, come to your mind from time to time, with gaps in between when you are resting. And at the same time, Notice if there is any change in the sensations of your body. Don't intellectually think about the sentence. It doesn't matter. Just let it sink into your calm, deep mind. From time to time, repeating, I am peace. And monitoring the sensations of your body at the same time. Do they move or release in any way? Do they change? Repeat to yourself from time to time, I am peace, without losing your awareness of the sensations in your body and noticing if there is any change. Let your mind rest in between the repetitions and keep a constant monitoring of every sensation all around your body. Keep monitoring any change in the sensations of your body. And gently focus in your mind. Now repeat only peace. Just the word peace very slowly, with a lot of rest in between. Let your mind surrender to the concept of peace, to the feeling of peace. Relax your mind. A slow repetition of the word peace and its meaning will keep a constant awareness of the sensations in your body. Peace. 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 If you surrender your mind to peace, there will be some sort of lighter sensations, energy growing in your body. When they are stable, switch to them, to the experience of peace in your body, and let it spread all around your body. Surrendering to peace. Your breath is gentle. Your body is relaxed. You're just surrendering your body and your mind to the sensations of peace. Let your body and your mind bathe into that energy of peace. With a calm and transparent mind, surrender every inch of your body to the experience of peace. Surrender your body and your mind to the presence of peace. Take a few deep breaths, breathing in and out that sense of peace. Notice that it's not limited to your body. It's everywhere. It is a matrix of perception. It is underneath everything. Just need to surrender to it. is an unlimited space and time of peace, here and now. Keep surrendering. Surrender yourself completely to the presence of peace. The first exercise was based on the four immeasurables of Buddhism. such a simple idea. Just to wish peace or happiness or well-being or love, of loving kindness or anything you want to someone else. Just noticing the very important fact that is not like something physical. It's like the more you give, the more you have. And the traditional practice, they go a step farther than we did, but they do it over a long time. It's a lot easier to remember people you actually love and wish them, in this case, peace. It's pretty straightforward. You want them to be peaceful. And that's great and very powerful. I think start becoming way more interesting when you start to apply that to other people that you may not consider important to you. And you just notice that it actually still works fantastic. And in the last stages, you do the same with people you avoid or you feel regret to. That's obviously more challenging, but I like it because it's equivalent of forgiveness in Christianism, but in this case it's way more straightforward, gradual, takes away the behavioral rightness of do good things for people. It takes you to the honesty of actually wishing it in your intimacy. And it's very powerful. I can imagine anyone doing that and not feeling anything. Well, there is one possibility, it's called distraction. That's the real danger in here. Especially, it's kind of an active. You need to engage your mind. So the chances you start thinking on something else are very high. That may be one of the dangers of the meditation. But it is very powerful and really just going to work great anytime, any day. Normally when you train Tibetan Buddhism, you sit to meditate and you do your techniques and everything. But any time in between, you only practice the four immeasurables, which is different flavors of what we were doing. Such a simple concept, and we wish that everybody would be reminded of it, right? What a beautiful world would this be if we were more sensitive. But what an incredible discovery in a world where everybody is trying to make themselves happy, not caring about others and absolutely failing at the task of making you yourself alone, this body happy. It's very unnatural, very unlikely. And yet finding this simple truth that goes against to the way our culture is built, each man on their own. But as Jesus said, treat others as you would like to be treated. The same principle. if anyone would only do this thing right, would be enough. Actually, it's one of the most powerful things to do. And it's very simple. And you wonder why people don't do it more. Well, question will be why we don't do it more. And you will find a 24 hours training that you can practice your work, you can practice anywhere. And instead of this idea of just do it because it's right, just do it because it's good, just deep inside yourself, when you meet someone, wish them an authentic feeling of peace, love, or joy. And the funny thing is that when you give it, you have it. Isn't that the most powerful thing? Do it all the time. I'm curious to see if someone finds something different, but especially one day when you're not happy, when you cannot make yourself happy, just wish for other people and feel it. And it should become more and more clear, and that alone will could create heaven on earth. And the second technique we did today, obviously the second technique is always a bit more subtle. It was a mix with that and what in Buddhism they call the jnanas, which are very, very profound states of concentration that create very, very powerful transformation. And regardless of how it's stated, is basically they normally use concentration to build up these sort of sensations in your body. Call it energy or just call it sensations, whatever fits to you. But it just happens to everyone. It's been practiced for thousands of years. And yeah, the problem is that the way it is, if you don't reach to have what they call access concentration, which is the capacity of staying around one object or one idea without distraction for, some people say 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, probably something around that. The idea is that you don't get distracted. It could go, this kind of concentration could be practiced to the point of having high definition and stability with the object, but access concentration refers just to, you just don't disconnect with it. And that simple skill, which is letting go of thoughts with a specific object, if practiced long enough, it creates very clear, distinctive sensations in your body. It will pull your spine up. When I discovered this long time ago, I thought something was going wrong. Because you get to the point, if you do it in a kind of intense environment, you could feel your body shaking. Like some people sweat. And of course, some people have all huge range of strange experiences mixed with psychological traumas to nervous system blockages. I mean, it's really a huge array. It's a typical thing that some student will go to a meditation teacher and will say, "Oh, have this thing when I meditated and suddenly I start just sweating. And they describe kind of like a, maybe sometimes even a nightmare sensation. I was someone in here recently and I find like a comfortable pain. But it's very disappointing. The answer of every teacher is like, yes, keep going. But I have all this, just ignore it. Just keep going. But I see this and I see that, and it all goes to a range that it could fall into the category of drugs. Like you could have very intense experience, especially if done on retreat where everything is more intense. But I think at home, probably people will feel this range of just having something waking up in themselves, could even feel like an old blues, like a sadness. I remember when I accidentally came across a lot of these states at a young age, and I remember saying, how is it possible that I feel so sad for no reason? I remember as a teenager just saying, so sad. I mean, so sad that I cannot even cry. And it was very strange because I had no reason. I was just resting. And of course, good news is it's like a blockage. In Buddhism, they call it piti and sukha, like different levels of this stillness, of this energy, but it's the same energy. In Hinduism, they call it shakti. And it's this idea of waking up an energy through your spine, through your chakras. And regardless of how you think about it, it's pretty much clear to everyone that you follow a certain level of concentration. This sort of purging for your body and your psyche will start just happening. There's nothing wrong with it, and probably is one of the most delicate points in the trip of many people. That's one of the moments where getting together with other people or looking counseling from a teacher or an advanced meditator will probably help, because it will give you courage to go through it and just don't stop. Just don't give it more value than it has. Just keep purging. And well, the more you sit on it, the more clear it becomes that it's actually joyful. It's actually when you nurture that you can nurture to incredible extents, actually. It is orgasmic. It is, think about the most pleasant sensation you could have with your body in a sensory level. Is literally that sensation. It needs to be practiced, and in many traditions will never say what I'm saying just to not make people gravitate towards that too much, because there's a lot more depth to it. But still, I think it's very important to mention it. I think it's not maybe a good idea to discard it. And I think probably could be a good motivation these times of mindfulness, where people are just trying not to be stressed or not to suffer so much. Because there is value, but there's a lot more to that. There's a lot more to it. And if you nurture it, like if you want to learn a language or you want to play an instrument, you will just dedicate a bit of technique to it. You will just find exactly what anyone will find. Of course, you will need to go through your process, but it's very simple. You get into a certain amount of focus, concentration, and this energy will just start kicking in every single time, every single way. That for many people, we're talking about probably a span of months of practice. On retreat can happen very abruptly, but yeah, and there they have their own way of dealing with that. But in the personal practice, I, for example, use that for a long time. I would just wake up, sit, focus. At that time, I was using a lot the breath in the nostrils. And it's like any skill. After a while, you notice you can just ignore your mind completely and you just go. It's like a highway. You're like, and you get into, I used to call it to myself, the ninja feeling. I wasn't sure what it was, but like it was a bulletproof fine-tuning of my mind and my body. You see it there, just you can feel the aliveness in your body just growing. For me, the experience is different. For people feel in different ways. As I said before, may find heat, some people find vibration, some people find different sensory experiences, but little by little start settling to a deeper sense of, call it bliss, call it whatever. For me, it was the clearest sensation ever, as if you would just wake up in the morning and get a nice cold shower and your body's just perfect and your mind is just rested and you are in the mountains and everything is just like clean and crystal clear, like you could be thrown at you like a very challenging situation and you will certainly react from the top of what you have, from the best of you ever knew. And it's as simple as a very clean state. Your mind is not distracted. But I think it's useful to understand that when you nurture that a little longer, this physical sensation, this purging start happening, after a while, this is a master tool any meditator develop. Some people go deeper into these states, some people don't. But definitely in the science of meditation, this is necessary. If you don't have that kind of level of accuracy, you won't be able to notice, for example, something we've been working on the second meditation today. Everybody goes around with, oh, my ego, you know, I have all this thing going on, I have these emotions, I have this thing. But you start just noticing, what is an emotion? Straightforward. Try to see what is the experience and feel an emotion, what it is, how you know you have an emotion, how you experience it. You will come to realize that it's actually a combination between some sort of physical sensation, your body feels something in some way, and there are thoughts that sort of create a feedback loop with that sensation. I mean, the extreme of this is someone having a panic attack, like, right? But just notice any emotion you have and just try to dismantle it into parts, and you will notice there can only be these two components to a human emotion. And emotions are basically what drives anyone to do anything ever. So yes, it is a very important thing to notice. And all these me and I, if you see the suffering of someone who has a very strong sense of depression or any kind of imbalance, you will hear all this me, my, me, I. That sense of me, such a strong sense of me, everybody's against me, you don't understand me, you know, this special sense of being trapped some way emotionally, this victimism, this is only based on this sense of me. And the sense of me that many people call ego, it is just a feedback loop between a sensation in your body and a thought. So this simple, fantastic thing to discover that goes even more powerful to the experience of just sitting and feeling ecstatic is that you start noticing that you can dismantle your life completely. And if you have what they call a negative emotion, we're just feeling, some may feel, for example, when I was having that experience of feeling this sadness when I was a teenager, probably just staying there and just feel, okay, what is this? So noticing the physical experience of it, you will notice certain kind of something somewhere. You say, okay, that's how it feels. You start noticing every detail of that sensation, and you start just objectifying it. And it's a nice thing to do. Most important, because you start already breaking up the vicious circle with thought, where people will take meds, will go to a lot of therapies trying to break that specific feedback loop between this that triggers and that emotion and this whole cascade of insatisfactory way of being. If you would only figure out this feeling part, you're taking 50% off that. At the same time, it becomes very easy to suddenly notice in this ping pong with the thoughts, these beliefs, and like, I always do it wrong. It's her fault. Whatever it is, this kind of thing, you start just very, very clean with the same kind of direct, stable attention. You start noticing that movement and this feedback loop. Great news. Just doing that already takes you to the next discovery, which is to notice, wait. So every time I notice a negative emotion, just by differentiating the thinking part from the feeling part, you're de-energizing, let's say, the suffering from it. So you may still feel nothing, but you just notice it's kind of start diminishing this whole loop of that pulls you and many times will drive you crazy and out of control internally. Is you start losing power just because and you are just observing it. But I think these two sides of the story is very important to notice. The same way, when you go for pleasurable emotions, like, yes, I want to go on that trip, when you get this kind of thing, it gets also great, because when you disconnect that, what it blocks are positive emotions. For example, when people try to be happy, is that the trying kills it. right there. In Buddhism, they call it clinging, grasping, when you grasp. So we're going to this oasis in our suffering life, trying to pursue this. When I finally get more money, I will just... But the thing is that this grasping keeps you in a vicious loop, because it never really satisfies you, so you never really get enough of this good thing. Then you get addicted to stuff, even when it's as simple as working too much or making too much sport. People slowly kill themselves by doing too much sport. It is possible, actually. Just go like, oh, I'm going to heal myself by just running a lot. Because it works on basic level, yeah, but it doesn't go that deep. So there's this discovery. When you dismantle your thoughts and your physical sensations of emotions, then you notice that the negative emotions become softer and the positive emotions become stronger. There's more pleasure. You need it less. Just say, oh, cool, I'm going to go with this friend to watch a movie or whatever event. You're just happy. So happy that you may even forget to go. So again, I put in a nozzle a lot of gradation of training of meditation, and I just did that, and I went into focusing on the positive sensation and taking it as an object of concentration, which should over time will let it build, and at some point you're able to observe it. And here's where things become a little more strange from our mentality, way of understanding things. You will just start noticing that it's not really something. It is mass. It's not like an energy in your body. That is how it starts. It's just like this. But it's more like a release. As soon as you get to be open to it, it feels more and more deep and chill and relaxed. And of course, your psychological change is more profound. But when you make it an object, it takes you deep, deep, deep into peace. Deep, deep, deep. In Buddhism, they call it sukha, and they call it equanimity. And that is the the real peace, the happiness, the satisfaction that it's unbeatable by any circumstance. But it needs to be hung upon this clear, direct experience of this intangible thing that at the beginning is more blissful, is more intense, to something that start becoming a more expansive sensation of calm that embraces all the experiences, that feels like more like a golden joy in the background of your life, of your body and your mind, and there like a character. And there's just this space where someone described it as luminous. Some traditions, Christianity, they call it the light, and in Tibetan Buddhism, they call it the luminous quality of Rigpa. Not everybody has to feel like a light, but it's just a very reproducible process. And as simple as probably it's just quite a combing through a very different stages. And the reason why I do so, because I think most meditation paths, or they just don't do that, but the reason why I do so, because there's this interesting factor. All of you, everyone is already there. So as they say, even a broken watch is to time right in the day, right? With the time. You know that expression, right? Like you have a broken analog watch, it will be right even. So in the same way, here's the thing, and that's what I like these traditions like Zen, they will say, just sit. And say, what I have to feel? Just sit. And just no, just sit. I mean, it's frustrating. But the reason why to do that is brilliant. Is any of you, and I do believe people nowadays are more and more prone to actually be able to do that. People before, they used to have a more solid, rigid mind, but nowadays people are more open, are more fluid. They are more out of control and quick, but at the same time, it works. One day, you just do nothing, and you start stumbling across a very solid experience that you cannot describe, and is literally the happiness you're looking for in anything. And I call it a relaxation. Say this, I think one of the things, I'm writing a book, actually writing 4, but because I think it needs to be said more that the concentration aspect, all meditation methodologies involve a lot, focus on this, focus on that, focus on this, focus on that, spend a lot of time doing it. But here's the thing, I've been to a few of these teachings, and every single time I was the exception. And that's not right. And I know many people who are exceptions, so I think the models are wrong. The models are made for people in a different time, and I think it's valuable to make people aware that the possibility of one day, out of trust, just surrendering your body and your mind enough and hitting across a very advanced and profound recognition. People call it meditation, but it's just recognizing that if you just don't pay so much attention to your body and your mind, you're there already. And the good news, repeat it over and over again. You have everything you need. You have everything you could ever dream of. All your dreams are... There is no experience you could dream of, any circumstance, that the only reason why you dream of it is because you are craving for that feeling. So the more you just start realizing that that feeling is there unless you contract and you get lost in all these loops. It is there available, then I think it's worth to always keep it accessible, that the only thing you need is surrendering. You don't need even training. You just need to like when you go to deep sleep, you can be awake on deep sleep. I know this is an unusual thing to say, but it's pretty much a fact that has been proven actually scientifically. And when you're there, you're literally like in a state of meditation. And the crystal clear peace, ineffable. You cannot even think about it. It is there, and it's there for everyone. The question will be, okay, if that's so, why we do lose awareness when we go to sleep? That would be a good question. Well, that's yours to figure out, but start observing your dreams, which, as you know, has a lot to do with your psychology, your personal structures. But the more you pay attention to them, the more you will become aware of all these slow stages of dream, maybe hypnagogic imagery, and deeper into lucid dreaming, and deeper in, I'm not saying people should have all these experiences, but still it's pretty straightforward. Your brain slows down, and in all traditions recognize the state of cessation. People just spend incredible amounts of time without moving their body to the point that it looks like they are dead. And I remember recently someone mentioning Ramakrishna, who was a saint from 19th century. And there was a doctor, once he got one of these, he just stayed there. The doctor just started just like touching his eyeballs and doing some things. But by medicine, it's like if someone is in any way, your brain is anyway active, there must be an unconscious reaction to that. And he was doing all the tests and he was just shocked. There was nothing. I know this is more extreme. I don't think it's definitely not necessary. I think it's just very interesting thing to know that it's available and everyone is going there. You're going to go be there tonight. And you don't do anything special and you go to a deep state of meditation. I think that is very nice to remember. And hopefully with a little curiosity and letting your mind slide into it, something that you will remain aware, and effortlessly you may slip into very advanced stages of meditation that takes many years and many scriptures and retreats for no one can do that with less than a 3 month solitary retreat under these very strict rules. That's basically what you get all the time. Well, that's been proven over and over, and that's not the case. I think it's not even accessible to most people nowadays. So I hope all this is not confusing you, but making it feel a bit more accessible, because it's really the touch of your fingers. But it requires certain deliberate intention to go all over your feedback and conscious loops, and to notice that there is nothing to fix. There is nothing to do. There is no meditation to learn. There's just this and distraction. Thank you so much for coming tonight and sitting with me. nice evening.